Today I'm going to take a look at an article at this website called Neiman Lab. If we look down here, we can see that the article is saying, can you inoculate people against misinformation before they even see it? And that there's a study that says yes, you can. So the first thing about this is that it reminded my time in IT, where sometimes a new system or a new way of doing things would come out, but essentially it was just repackaged old ideas in a new way. But the key thing about it was that they came up with new terminology to make it seem like something totally new, and that's what these guys have done here. So they talk about inoculating people against misinformation, but as we'll see a bit further down, what they're really just talking about is critical thinking skills. But of course, if they said that, it wouldn't make what they're doing here seem like some kind of new innovative method. So if you look at the opening paragraph here, they're saying things like the COVID pandemic, the war in Ukraine means that misinformation is rife. Well, of course, misinformation is just information that's wrong. So pretty much everybody in the world, whichever side they're on in a particular argument or conflict, are susceptible to producing misinformation. And certainly with the war in Ukraine, I mean, there's an old saying that the truth is the first casualty of war. So I think we can pretty much assume that both sides in that war will be, well, probably more disinformation than misinformation, but certainly you can't rely on anything coming out of war zone. So if we carry on, it says that they think they've found a solution to the problem of misinformation, and they say that they've tested some short videos at Prebunk viewers. Now, clearly, Prebunking is referring to debunking. So further down, they do say that the problem with debunking is that often people don't listen to contradictory facts, and sometimes it can actually make them even stronger in their original view. But I think the problem is, talk about prebunking though, critical thinking is not just about trying to identify problems in other people's thoughts or opinions, but it's also trying to improve your own thinking and arguments. So they're quoting here that their study is the largest of its kind. And they've tested this intervention on YouTube. So I've looked at one of these videos, and essentially they're just little very simple critical thinking tutorials, which which is absolutely fine, nothing wrong with that. But clearly, if you want to be good at critical thinking, you're going to need more than just a smattering of simple videos. So if we go down here. Yeah, they're talking about that fact checks don't necessarily reverse the effects of misinformation because of something called continued influence. So what they're saying is that the big idea, which like I say, it's just basically critical thinking that's been repackaged. So the big idea is this inoculation theory, that you can forge psychological resistance against attempts to manipulate you, like a medical vaccine. So they go on to discuss what they've done here. I won't go through all that. Essentially what they've done is that they've created a suite of critical thinking tutorials in short videos and showed those to people, and then supposedly it made them better at assessing information, which, well, I certainly hope that's the case. So if we carry on going down, I think the one of the problems I have, and I think we can see this in the last paragraph here, is that it's referring to the spread of conspiracy theories and false information online being overwhelming. Now, that's certainly the case, but we've got to remember that misinformation doesn't just come from people with fringe ideas or conspiracy theories. I mean, it's not difficult to find misinformation in the media. from government and politicians, from scientists and academics, from some doctors, some public health bodies, and even fact checkers can get things wrong. So if you're going to talk about pre-bunking viewers, I think it's important to make it clear that this isn't just simply trying to be used as a way of, I guess, defending particular establishment narratives, but it's a way of actually trying to help people assess information better. And it's also worth bearing in mind that these kind of little critical thinking videos, they're only going to be limited in scope in how much you can help you. So, for example, with COVID-19, there's lots of studies about various things, and you really need to know a lot more about critical thinking and perhaps statistics to be able to assess some of those things, or at least assess other people's reports of what the studies have shown.